The power of silence. Why it's the ultimate weapon against control. In a world dominated by noise, distractions, and constant mental stimulation, silence has become one of the most undervalued and overlooked forces. Yet, throughout history, those who have mastered the power of silence have wielded immense control over their own minds and, by extension, the world around them. Silence is not simply the absence of sound, it is a tool for inner mastery, a strategy against manipulation, and the key to breaking free from external control. This deep dive will explore the profound psychological, spiritual, and strategic power of silence, and why it remains one of the most effective weapons against those who seek to control, manipulate, and influence the masses. The nature of silence and its significance. Silence is not just the lack of speech or external noise. It is a state of mental and emotional stillness that allows for deeper perception, heightened awareness, and greater self-control. When a person cultivates silence, they remove external distractions and begin to listen to the more subtle dimensions of reality. Silence as a gateway to higher awareness. When external noise is eliminated, internal clarity increases. The mind, when silent, can perceive patterns, truths, and intentions that would otherwise be drowned out by distractions. The ancient wisdom traditions of meditation, contemplation, and asceticism emphasize silence as the path to enlightenment. In silence, we become more aware of our inner dialogue and the unconscious thought loops that control our actions. Those who master silence develop an inner radar that helps them detect deception and manipulation. How silence affects the brain. Scientific research has shown that silence actively changes the brain's structure and function. Neurogenesis. Periods of silence have been linked to the growth of new brain cells in the hippocampus, the area responsible for memory and learning. Cognitive reset. Just 2 minutes of complete silence can be more relaxing than listening to soft music due to the restoration of the brain's prefrontal cortex. Enhanced decision-making. Without mental noise, people process information more accurately and avoid emotional manipulation. Greater stress reduction. Silence activates the parasympathetic nervous system, reducing stress and improving overall well-being. Increased creativity. Studies show that silence allows for more profound problem-solving and creative thinking. Silence as a weapon against psychological manipulation. How noise is used to control people. Governments, corporations, and media outlets flood the environment with noise to distract, influence, and control the population. This noise comes in many forms: sensory overload, constant social media notifications, advertisements, political propaganda, and entertainment. Disinformation campaigns, a barrage of conflicting narratives, keeps people confused and unable to focus on real issues. Fear-based messaging. Mainstream media relies on sensationalism and fear to keep people emotionally reactive rather than rationally critical. Digital dependency. The average person checks their phone over 150 times a day, making them highly susceptible to distraction. Social conditioning. Through noise, conversations, arguments, and emotionally charged debates often prevent deep thought and reflection. How silence disrupts manipulation, non-reaction as a power move. Those in control expect people to react emotionally. Silence disrupts this dynamic by refusing to give away power through words or reactions. Observing, instead of engaging. When one stays silent, they can read people, situations, and intentions more clearly, breaking the feedback loop. Control systems require constant participation. Silence removes you from their framework and allows independent thought. Silence as resistance. When groups refuse to engage in the mainstream narratives, they become harder to manipulate. Harnessing inner silence. Those who cultivate inner silence become less influenced by external forces and more aligned with their own truth. Silence in conflict and power struggles. Throughout history, silence has been used as a tactical advantage in war, politics, and power struggles. Historical examples of silence as a strategy. Sun Tzu in The Art of War emphasized silence and deception as essential tactics in warfare. The enemy that cannot predict your moves is already at a disadvantage. Gandhi's silent resistance used non-verbal, peaceful protest to make a stronger statement than words ever could. Stoic philosophy. Ancient Stoics mastered the art of silence to avoid unnecessary conflict, gain leverage in debates, and maintain inner control. The silent treatment in warfare. Many intelligence agencies use silence as a means to extract information by making the other party fill the void. How to use silence. Strategically. Silence in negotiations. Whoever speaks less has more control over the conversation. Silence forces the other person to reveal more information. Silence in arguments. The strongest response to an emotionally charged situation is often no response at all. Silence as a psychological weapon. Ignoring manipulative individuals and refusing to play their game is a powerful form of resistance. The silent observer. Advantage. Those who speak less tend to learn more and gain deeper insights. The spiritual and metaphysical power of silence. Why mystics and sages prioritized silence. Every major spiritual tradition recognizes silence as the path to self-realization. Buddhism. Meditation and noble silence lead to enlightenment. Hinduism. The concept of mauna, spiritual silence, is seen as a way to transcend ego. Taoism. The Tao that can be spoken is not the true Tao. Silence and higher consciousness. Silence allows for greater intuition and access to higher realms of knowledge. It facilitates deep inner transformation and the ability to perceive reality beyond illusion. Some believe that silence enables one to connect directly with the universal consciousness. In silence, one gains access to divine wisdom and inspiration. The great masters often spent years in silence to refine their consciousness and wisdom. In a world that constantly demands attention, those who master silence master themselves. It is not a sign of weakness, but of immense inner strength. By choosing when to speak, when to listen, and when to remain silent, one can navigate life with wisdom, clarity, and control. Silence is the ultimate weapon against manipulation, oppression, and chaos. It is the key to personal freedom, self-mastery, and profound awareness. The question is, will you wield it?